Code with confidence. So yeah, in my previous video I had taught you about the knapsack greedy method. So how do you solve this problem using greedy method? So in this video I will be teaching you how to solve the knapsack problem using dynamic programming, or using dynamic method we will be solving this knapsack problem. Okay, so yeah, in my previous problem what did I do? We had solved it like either we can take the complete object into the knapsack, or we can divide it and take it, correct? So we used to divide the remaining capacity divided by the weight, and then we used to fill it in the knapsack. Okay, but here what happens is we either have to take complete object or we have to not take any object. Okay, either we have to take object completely as one, okay, or we have to not at all take that object into the knapsack. We have to leave it as 0. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction about the problem. Before getting into the problem, you have to first know few variables that we use in this problem. Okay, like in the previous we know what is W, correct? We know what is W. We know what is P, that is profit. We know what is M, it is a capacity of the knapsack. We know what is N is the number of items. Okay, so these are the basic variables that we are going to use even here. Okay, we have two formulas, that is V of I minus 1 comma j. This is one formula, and one more is max of V of I minus 1 comma j comma V of I minus 1 comma j minus W plus P. Okay, so this is one formula and this is one more formula. Okay, you have to know when do we need to use this formula and when do we need to use this formula. So usually we have two criterias. One, W is greater than J, or W is less than or equal to J. Okay, I will let you know what is V, what is I, what is J and all while solving the problem. For now, just keep in mind the weight, whatever the weight we are adding into the knapsack, the object weight, whatever it is there, if that is greater than J, then we will be using this formula. Okay, V of I minus 1 comma J. Okay, for this we are using this small formula. Okay, so if the weight is less than or equal to J, okay, the weight is less than or equal to J, then we will be using this formula which says V of I minus 1 comma J comma V of I minus 1 comma J minus W plus profit. Okay, so this is the basic thing that you have to keep in mind before solving the problem. Fine. Okay, so this is the problem given, that is the item are 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 items, so n will be 4. Okay, initial capacity of knapsack is 5, so M is equal to 5. Okay, before creating a table, we have to know how many number of rows and how many number of columns the table must have, correct? So in order to find the rows and columns, the rows will be equal to n plus 1 and the columns will be equal to m plus 1. So what is n plus 1? N plus 1 is 4 plus 1, that is 5. And what is m plus 1? M plus 1 is 5 plus 1, that is 6. So we have to draw 6 columns and 5 rows. What are rows? The horizontal lines are known as rows. How many columns do we have? The vertical lines are known as columns. Okay, so this is how you create a table. Now step 1 is done. We got the rows and columns and we have created the table. Now let us move to the step 2. So what is step 2? I said you I'll be telling what is I and what is J when I solve the problem. So basically the I will be pointing here, okay, and J will be pointing here. Okay, initially I is 0 and J is also 0, correct? Okay, so I is equal to 0, J is also equal to 0, and so if I and J both are 0, then V of I comma J is V of 0 comma 0 is considered as 0. So ಇದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ initially the 0th column and 0th row will be filled with zeros. Usually the step 1 is similar for all the problems using dynamic method. Next, step 3. In step 3 the I gets incremented. Okay, I is equal to 1, J will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, because 5 blocks ನಮಗೆ ಎಂಟಿ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ? ವೆನ್ ಐ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮೈ ಐ ಇನ್ 1, I have to mention the weight of the first object. So first object weight ಏನು 2. And what is the profit? The P is 12. Now I'm going to solve it. See, my J is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This means that each block has 2 kgs of capacity. Fine. In order to fill the object. So now where the formula comes. If W is greater than J. Okay. If W is greater than J, we will be using V of I minus 1 comma J. Okay. If W is lesser than or equal to J, then we will be using max of V of I minus 1 comma J comma V of I minus 1 comma J minus W plus P. Okay. If W is lesser than or equal to J. ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾನ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಓಕೆ. ಈಸ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಜೆ? Yes. So which formula do I need to use? I need to use this formula. So V of, what is I here? I is 1. 1 minus 1 comma J. What is J here? 1. Next, what will be the answer when I compute this? V of 0 comma 1. ಇದು ಐ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಐ. ಓಕೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಜೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಐ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಜೆ. ಐ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು 0. ಓಕೆ. ಐ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು 0 ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಜೆ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು 1. ಓಕೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಸೊ ಐ 0 ಮತ್ತು ಜೆ 1. ವಿಚ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 0. ಸೊ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್, ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? How do we solve it? ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. you will get to know how ಅಂತ. So this is V of 0 comma 1. So 0 comma 1. 0th row and 1 column. Which value do we have? We have 0. So the answer for this block is 0. Got it? We have 2 and 2 means W is lesser than or equal to. W is equal to J. When W is, the weight is equal to J, then we will be using this formula, maximum formula. Okay, so I'll teach you how to use it. Okay, so maximum of V of I minus 1 comma J, I'm writing the formula, V of I minus 1 comma J minus W plus P. When I substitute it, what answer will I get? Max of V of I minus 1. What is I? I is 1. So 1 minus 1 comma, what is J? 2 comma, V of I is 1 minus 1, what is J? 2 minus, what is W? It is 2 plus, what is P? The profit is 12. Okay, got it? How do you substitute this formula? Okay, after substituting, max of V of 1 minus 1 is 0 comma 2, V of 1 minus 1 is 0 comma 2 minus 2 is 0 plus 12. Okay, max of 0 comma 2. 0 comma 2. 0 in row and 2 in column. Which value do we have? We have 0. So 0 comma 0 comma 0. 0 comma 0 is 0. 0 plus 12. We need to add this with this value. Okay. Then max of 0 comma 12. Which is maximum among these two? 12 and 0. Obviously it is 12. So the answer will be 12. Here I will fill it with the 12. Understood now how to solve this? Okay. So this answer is 12 we got. The next one is 2 and 3. Is 2 the weight greater or lesser than 3? The weight is greater or lesser than 3? Weight is lesser than 3. So if the weight is lesser than or equal to J, then what do? We use this formula. So max of, just substitute the values. I is 1 minus 1 comma J is now 3. So 3 comma V of 1 minus 1 comma 3 minus 2, that is weight, plus 12. Okay. So maximum of V of 0 comma 3, b of 1 minus 1, 0, 3 minus 2 is 1, plus 12. So what value do we have in 0, comma 3? 0, comma 3. What do we have here? 0, comma 0, comma 1. 0, comma 1. Which value? 0. Plus 12. So maximum of 0 and 12 is 12. Clear? Okay. So this will be 12. Okay. Done. So the next one is 2 and 4. Is 2 greater than 4 or lesser than 4? 2 is lesser than 4. So again the same formula, maximum of v of I minus, v of 1 minus 1, comma, j is 4, comma, v of 1 minus 1, comma, 4 minus 2 plus p, maximum of v of 0, comma 4, comma, v of 0, comma 4 minus 2 is 2 plus p, maximum of 0, comma 4. 0, comma 4 is 0, comma 0, comma 2. 0, comma 2 is 0 plus, not p, is 12. Okay. So maximum of 0, comma 12. Which is maximum? The 12. So even this is 12. Okay. Done. Next we'll move to the last one. Is 2 lesser than or greater than 5? It is lesser than 5. So the same formula again. Max of v of 1 minus 1, comma, what is j? J is 5. J is 5. V of 1 minus 1, comma, 5 minus 2 plus 12. Okay. Max of v of 0, comma 5, comma, v of 0, comma 5 minus 2 is 3 plus 12. So max of, what do we have in 0 and 5? 0, comma 5 is 0. 0, comma 3. 0, comma 3 is 0. 0 plus 12. So max of 0, comma 12 is 12. So the answer is 12 for this. When this is 12. So we have filled the first row. Clear? So step 4. Again I gets incremented now. It is incremented to 2. Okay, j will remain same because all the 1 to 5 blocks are empty, so j will remain same. Just the I gets incremented to j is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so w, the second item weight is, this is done. Okay, the second item weight is 1, the profit is 10. J, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The weight. What is weight? Weight is 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So the first thing, the first weight. The first weight is 1 and j is also 1. Is weight equals to j? Then which formula we have to use? We have to use this formula. So try solving with me. Max of v of I is 2 here. So 2 minus 1, comma, what is j? J is 1, comma, v of 2 minus 1, comma, what is j? 1 minus what is w? 1 plus 10. Okay, solve with me. Maximum of v of 2 minus 1 is 1, comma 1, comma, v of 2 minus 1 is 1, comma 0 plus 10. Okay, so maximum of v of 1, comma 1, which is 1, this is 1, comma 1, the first column, that is 0. 1, comma 0, 1, comma 0, that is also 0 plus 10. So maximum among 0 and 10 is obviously 10. Okay. So this is 10. Okay. The next one, that is 2. Okay. So is weight lesser than 2? Yes, it is lesser than 2. So 2 minus 1, comma, j is 2 now. 2, comma, v of 2 minus 1, j is 2 minus 1, that is w plus 10. Okay, maximum of v of 1 comma 2 comma v of 1 comma 1 plus 10. So maximum of 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 is 12. So write down 12. 1 comma 1. 1 comma 1 is 0 plus 10. So which is highest among 12 and 10? It is obviously 12. Okay. So the second will be filled with 12. Clear? Okay. The next one. Is 1 lesser than 3? Yes, it is lesser. So 2 minus 1 comma j is 3 now. 3 comma v of 2 minus 1 comma 3 minus 1 plus 10. Sorry. Maximum of v of 2 minus 1, that is v of 1 comma 3 comma v of 1 comma 2 plus 10. Maximum of 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is 12 comma 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 is also 12 plus 10. So which is maximum among 12 comma 22? Obviously it is 22 maximum. So write down 22 in the block. Okay. Next 1 4. 2 minus 1 comma, now j is 4 comma v of 2 minus 1 comma 4 minus 1 plus 10. Maximum of v of 1 comma 4 comma v of 1 comma 3 plus 10. Maximum of v of 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4 is 12 comma 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is also 12 plus 10. So the maximum of 12 and 22 is 22. So this will also be 22. So 2 minus 1 comma j is 5 comma v of 2 minus 1 comma 5 minus 1 plus 10. Maximum of v of 1 comma 5 comma v of 1 comma 4 plus 10. Maximum of 1 comma 5 is 12 comma 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4 is also 12. So 12 plus 10 is 22. Maximum among 12 and 22 is 22. So here it is 22. Okay. So step 5, I gets again incremented to 3. Okay. But j remains same. The second object is done. So now is the third object. J is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the weight is equal to 3. And profit is equal to 20. Okay. So weight is equal to 3 and profit is equal to 20. So let me put a table here. So yeah, is 3 greater or lesser than 1? It is greater than 1. So which formula we will be using if the weight is greater than j? We will be using a small formula. Use this formula, and then here also till here you can use this formula as the weight is greater than j. So from here what happens? The weight is equal to j, so the bigger formula. Weight is lesser than j, so bigger formula. Weight is again lesser than j, so bigger formula. Use this, you will get the answer as 10, 12, 22, 30, 32. So in the same way, if you solve this one, step 6, I will be again incremented to the last row. The j remains same. So j is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the weight of the fourth object is 2. The profit is 15. Okay. So again here it changes, the weight changes to 2. Okay. So here what happens is the 2 is greater than 1. So use this small formula, but here the 2 is equal to j. So which formula you will be using? You will use the bigger formula for all these. Okay, try solving this. The answer for this, the last step is 10, 15, 25, 30, 37. Okay, whatever the answer we get here, this is known as the optimal solution. After solving all this, you have to mention the optimal solution by writing it in the sentence. So therefore, the 37 is the optimal solution for the given problem. Okay. Okay. So I hope you have understood it. So in simple words, I can say that when an object is given along with its weight and the profit, you have to first create a table of rows and columns. Okay, so in order to find the rows, you have to add n plus 1, and in order to find the columns, you have to add m plus 1. Okay, yeah. So after drawing the table, initially the 0th column and the 0th row will be considered as 0. Okay, we have to fill the zeros in 0th column and 0th row. From the next step, we have to increment the I and the j. Okay, usually I and j will be pointing to 0. So later in the next step, we have to increment I is equal to 1, and j, whichever the blocks are empty, j will be pointing to all those blocks. Okay, whatever the empty blocks are there in that particular row where I is pointing to, I point ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ರೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ನ j ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, suppose if there is 6 blocks empty, j will be pointing to all the 6 blocks, but I will be pointing to only that particular row. Next, the weight associated with those objects will be mentioned, and the profit also. So then we will create a small table for our understanding, so that we know whether the weight is greater than j or lesser than or equal to j. Okay, if the weight is greater than j, then we will be using v of I minus 1 comma j formula, simple formula. If the weight is lesser than or equal to j, then we will be using maximum of v of I minus 1 comma j comma v of I minus 1 comma j minus w plus profit. Okay, w is weight, so plus profit. We will be using this, and the answer that we get, we will be writing the maximum value among those. So what is this funda of v? V of I comma j, if you get some values like 0 comma 1, 1 comma 2, like that, so the first, whatever the number you have, v of first number, that is known as the row. Okay, that row, and the j is the column. Okay, so suppose you get 0 comma 1, then you have to find the 0th row and 1 first column. Okay, so this is 0th row, this is first column, which value you have? 0. So like that, you have to find out the v of I comma j answers. Okay, after solving complete table, the last corner end block will be having some value, right? So that value is known as the optimal solution of the given problem, knapsack problem. Okay, clear? I'll be giving one question for you to solve, and kindly copy down that question. Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you have any doubts, or if you have any queries, or if you want me to solve another problem of the same method, using same method, you can please do comment. And if you like this video and if you find this helpful, please do share, like, and subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell icon to get the notification on my new videos. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.